Welcome to the Hurdle Podcast. It is Thursday, so that means college basketball, specifically Cats basketball. We got Cats stuff to go over for the men's basketball team, and then we will transition to the AP Top 25, where Auburn has now jumped Gonzaga, kind of like we said last week, which should happen, did finally happen. But we'll start with our Cats, baby. The Cats on a roll. Their last win, they got over Portland State by 13 in a week now where Xavier Bishop got named Big Sky men's basketball player of the week.
Men's basketball player of the week.
So that's pretty cool. We're getting recognition from the Big Sky 5-game win streak. They're going in tonight, the day we record this, and most likely day we post this. They are taking on Eastern Washington here at the Brick. Should be a great game. Me and Bailey are going to go there because, we could do homework, but at the same time, I want to watch some Cats basketball. Haven't gotten a lot of games in this year, so it'll be pretty fun to watch. But yeah, we're going in this game. Cats 14-5, 6-2 in the conference, making a push to be conference champs and have the top seed in the conference championship tournament. But Eastern's quietly behind us. They're 11-8, 5-3 in conference, so not too far behind. So this is a big game for the Cats to come out and really get a jump on these teams that are just below them, especially conference play-wise. Cats are favored in this game by almost 76%, so this should be a really fun game to watch, favored by 7. But yeah, really, I think it's going to be a fun game. Eastern doesn't really have any dominant scorer. Their guard shoots 50% from the field and 85% from the line, averages 18. So that's pretty good. But outside of that, it doesn't look like they have a ton defensively or even offensively. So really just shutting down guard play, which we've been doing all year, is going to be the key, I think, in this game tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Eastern, like you said, has that guard. He had 21, I think, in his last game. Venters. So he's playing well for them. And like you said, they're kind of like a sneaky 11-8 team coming up here. But this is a huge stretch for MSU starting tonight. They got a 4 or 5 game homestand, I believe, at the Brick. So they can walk out there with at least 3 or 4 wins. You got to be feeling pretty good about yourself. Already riding a 5-game win streak, won like 9 out of the last 10, I believe. So 10 out of the last 11, something like that. So got Eastern, and then Idaho State. And then the big game is Weber State because they're number 1 in the conference. So beat Eastern tonight. Idaho State, I don't think are real competitors. So then it's tune up for Weber State yet again, which is basically going to be the game for the number 1 seed in the Big Sky tournament, and home court the whole way, which is huge. We were talking about Xavier Bishop, 21-7-5 on 50% shooting basically in the last week. So he's been tearing it up and gearing his way to being the leading scorer for the team. It's still the big guy down low and Balo, but that 1-2 punch is very nice. They got shooters all the way around, like we were talking about. I think they get the win against Eastern here tonight. Eastern doesn't strike me as a huge strike set unless that guard gets going. So it's really down to him. We got the best rim protector in the Big Sky and Balo. So
they're not getting anything inside for free. I can tell you that right now.
And he's gonna do his fair share of work down low, I think, in this game. Pick and roll with him and Bishop should be the go-to move, as is almost every time. Then kick out to your shooters, and Patterson, Battle coming off the bench, who's really starting to get his fair share of minutes. So I think they win by minimum of double digits tonight, probably about 13, I would say. Spread you said was 7.
Yeah.
I like that spread a lot. So Montana State by 13 at home tonight, and then hopefully keep this win streak going to Weber State, which is the big game.
Yeah, like you said, 2 tune-ups after this one with the Idaho schools and then the big dog in Weber State. That should be a fun game. But yeah, tonight I'm really just looking for Raekwon Battle, just keep it going. He's been looking really well coming off the bench. Arguably could be getting starter minutes, but it is what it is. You don't want to mess up this starting 5 right now.
That ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. Abdul Muhammad's been playing very well for the Cats as well at the forward spot. But yeah, I think the Cats tonight, they're going to start off hot. I think defensively, they're going to look great. And especially if really you only have to shut down a guard, I think Xavier can do that pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
in the back end with him and I can't pronounce it. Adami. Yeah, couldn't even come close. Those two guys just gotta play well up top and not let him penetrate. Because the last thing we need is to get Bello in foul trouble tonight. Because second he's off the court, they're just gonna attack down low. So really just keeping the fouls clean defensively, and then offensively, just pushing it, get to the paint, kick out. We have great 3-point shooting on the year. We're as a team almost 37%, which is very good.
That is very good
for a college team. So yeah, just getting those opportunities when they're available is what's going to make the difference tonight for the Cats. I have the Cats again, probably by double digits. I have them by 10, just because like Bailey said, this has to be the game where you start getting the tunage up, right? I mean, you've got 5 in a row and a lot of them pretty convincing outside of the close one against Northern Arizona. So
shouldn't have been close.
Yeah, shouldn't even been that close, but it is what it is. Then your tune-ups with the Idaho schools, and then you got your Weber State game. And then really after that, it's a couple more tune-up games, and then
the tourney.
Yeah, and then the tourney. So that's gonna be fun. Because really, I mean, right now, Northern Colorado's ahead of Weber, but Northern Colorado has to make up a couple games here and there, and we get them to end the year. So
and Montana to end the year.
Yeah.
And Eastern again.
Yeah, so we get to end the year, we'll have at Eastern, at Montana, Saturday time between those. And then we finish with 2 at home versus Sac State and the Northern Colorado one, which could be a big one if we come down to the last game.
Yep.
And it's a tie between the Cats, the Wildcats, and the Bears. So It's going to be interesting. The Cats are hitting their stretch right now where it's really just got to start coming all together. Because, like, honestly, their losses aren't too bad. Like, we haven't had losses recently, I can tell you that. But 3 of them are against really big schools. And then a close one against Northern Colorado. And then Weber State kind of.
And our last 2 losses are the teams we got to beat. And they're not by significant margins. Northern Colorado by 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and then Weber State by 10. So if that's the competition that we can hang in there with, I like our chances at home against Northern Colorado. At Weber is going to be tough. That's going to be a huge game, but because they're always a tough place to play. I mean, the home of Damian Lillard. So yeah, the schedule is looking nice.
It's all coming together.
It's going to all come down to, can you get the big wins against the opponents to get that seeding? I mean, maybe those 2 games don't matter, and it's nice to have home court, but you just got to beat them in the tournament. But first, you got to make it. So 14-6, they're looking really nice right now.
Yeah, for sure. Do we know if the Big Sky tournament is like?
I don't know if it's neutral site or not.
I think it's neutral. I think it's in Boise. I'm not sure though.
It might be neutral.
But yeah, so there's your Cats basketball for the week. Yeah, we got big game tonight. We're both going to be there. So if you see us, come say hey, because we'll be in the student section. Let's shift to the big dogs, you could say. The top 25 for
college basketball.
College basketball. I mean, this is college basketball, but the bigger of the college basketball is the one that most people are attracted to for obvious reasons. But yeah, Bailey, you want to list them off? Let's get it going.
Yeah, we'll rip off the top 25. Don't go into the upset games real quick, because those are the big ones that matter, that everyone cares about, especially this week. Yes. So here we go. Auburn 1, Zaga 2, Arizona 3, Baylor 4, Kansas 5, Purdue 6 after a loss. UCLA is jumping up to 7, and they actually tied in points with Houston. So it's like 7A, 7B kind of deal. Duke at 16-3 drops down 3 spots. Probably recollection after their 2 losses last week that we talked about. Michigan State up 4, Wisconsin down 3. Kentucky and their prolific offense stays at 12. Texas Tech up to 13. They jump up 5.
Yeah, they were 18 last week.
Yeah, and Villanova drops 3. So interesting rotation there. USC bounces back a little bit after their 2 really rough losses, especially the Stanford one. They're up 1. Ohio State at 16, Providence 17. They jump up 4. They're starting to make a name for themselves in the Big East. Tennessee goes up 6 and LSU drops 6. We're going to talk about their matchup a little bit because that was a big game. UConn up 5, Xavier down 1, Marquette stays, even though they do have an upset win that we will discuss. Iowa State with a really, really, really tough loss this week. They dropped 8 down to 23. Same thing with Illinois. They dropped 7 to 24. And Davidson finds themselves in the top 25. Steph Curry's alma mater. So Bama not in it. Texas not in it. Colorado State at 16-1, who started their season undefeated. They're not in it. Same thing with Florida State and Oregon, who
Miami.
said they were going to make their way up. Miami at 15-5. I'm kind of surprised at 15-5 in the ACC are not in it. But
Especially when you see like
Illinois and Iowa
Yeah.
State and Marquette, who are in, I would say, lesser conferences. But maybe Miami's a sleeper team coming into the tournament. We'll find out.
and then really the only two that dropped out were Loyola, Chicago,
Loyola.
and Texas.
Yeah, we'll talk about their games. So we'll start with Friday because we talked about Thursdays and when they happened. Because that was a little bit of a later recording. So Friday, unranked Maryland beats Illinois, which is why they dropped 7 spots.
Yeah, that's the
And
biggest one.
They kind of manhandle them by 16. No Coburn for Illinois. So I mean, when your best player's out, kind of sucks. It's tough to adjust. Down to Scott with 25 from Maryland in that game. Michigan State goes to Wisconsin and beats them. Wisconsin was ranked 8 at the time. I believe they're ranked 8 still.
Yeah.
These are updated. So Johnny Davis for Wisconsin, who's been their superstar this year. He can really get buckets as a guard. Has 25, but 8 for 20 from the floor. Isn't terrible, but isn't the best. And MSU, I mean, it's Tom Izzo. They're going to be competitive in almost every tournament every year. More upsets. Kentucky Auburn, not an upset, but a great game.
Very fun game to
Yeah,
watch.
great game. Auburn gets them by 9, as they are now at 1. They dropped 51 in the second half.
Offensively, they are just
Yeah.
so good.
University of North Carolina transfer Walker Kessler, 8 for 10 as 19 for Auburn in that game. Crazy 360 dunk by Toppin's brother. Obi Toppin's brother plays for Kentucky. Just learned that the other day, and he had a nasty.
Oh yeah,
360
huh?
dunk.
I saw the name this weekend, and I'm like,
it's Jacob Toppin.
I'm like, he's got to be
Yeah.
somehow related.
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't know
his
how
brother.
though.
He's his
That's
brother.
okay.
So that's big. Loyola Chicago, they drop out of the top 25 because Isaiah Mosley drops 40 on them. Drops 40 on them.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Tough loss, especially at home when someone drops 40 on you, but it is what it is. TCU holds Iowa State to 44 points on the road.
That's
So-
insane. Especially with how prolific, like we were talking about how Iowa State's offense is
Mhm.
and how they can pretty
Right.
much shoot out anyone to only put up 44 against a TCU team. That's
That's what happens when you run those running gun offenses.
Yep.
The night you're off, you are really off. Tennessee takes down number 13 LSU at the time.
very, oof.
Like I said, the I believe he's Russian transfer coming over for Tennessee, Vescovi. Dude can really shoot. That's his big deal is he can shoot the 3. I think he was shooting like 46% this year. So he drops 15 or 16 in order for them to win. And UCLA gets their bounce back win against Colorado. UCLA is really starting to find their rhythm, I think.
After almost losing to Utah, they've really
Yeah.
started finding their groove again.
Yep, absolutely. Number 20, Xavier loses to Marquette, which is why Marquette
Jumped up
actually they stayed the same, I think, but that's kind of why we think they should have jumped up at least 2 spots when you get an in-conference win
against
a ranked opponent. No way that qualifies you to jump up 1 or 2. Kansas, Texas Tech, what a game. This is on
Is it Monday?
Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, Monday.
Double overtime, baby.
Yeah, Abaji, 37 on 13 for 23. And if he makes his free throws, he's got a 40-piece at home against 13 Texas Tech. That kid can really play.
And Bryson Williams for Texas Tech really went off in this game.
Yep.
33.
33, yep. O'Banner with his 8 boards. Kid from transfer from Oral Roberts. If you guys remember them last year, their huge run that they had. But that was an incredible game to watch. Kind of reminded me, you guys remember Oklahoma, Kansas when they had Buddy Hield. And Buddy Hield dropped like 47 against them and it went to triple overtime. That was a great game. Kind of reminded me of that. Moving on to Tuesday, Duke almost loses to Clemson. Like Coach K, they got flipped the switch here eventually. You can't be losing to unranked in-conference opponents, and they already have 2 on the year.
Grant, they didn't lose this one, but again,
Still, they're making it.
they're making it. Yeah, they're making it way too close for such a talented team.
Exactly. 24 Illinois bounces back I believe gets Coburn back, maybe not, because their leading rebounder had 4 boards. So, but they beat number 10 MSU on the road, or Michigan State.
See, that's what's
Excuse
funny.
me,
That's
yeah.
what I'm going to say. Every time we Google MSU,
Michigan State.
it always
pops up.
comes up Michigan State. Switch it,
Mhm.
Google. Come on, we know who the real MSU is. But
Auburn, after being moved to 1, beats Missouri by 1 when they were favored by 12.5. But hey, a win's a win's a win. So and
especially
then
in that conference in the SEC, even an 8-11 team can really give the best team in the conference a run for their money.
I know they got what's his name?
Pickett.
I'll think of it in a
Javon
minute.
Pickett?
No, talking about Missouri.
Javon
Yeah,
Pickett.
not him though. They got a Kobe Brown. That's one thing.
Okay.
Kobe Brown. Yeah, I watched them play Bama when they beat Bama at home, I believe. And he played really well. He had like 30 something. He's one of the most improved players in the SEC this year.
And then the Pac-12 after dark.
Yeah, Pac-12 after dark, UCLA beats number 3 Arizona, which is why they jumped up so much and are probably going to jump up more. They beat them by 16, and Juzang's not even their leading scorer. Jules Bernard led them in every category. So it shows you how dynamic their backcourt is. A little bit worrying that Arizona loses this game by such a sheer amount of points, but their leading scorer had 16, but he went 5 for 22 from the field. So you just got to shoot the ball better. Not just him, but as a unit, if you're going to be an offensive powerhouse in UCLA that can really run with the best of them. But it is a road game, so that Pac-12 tournament is going to be electric when championship week comes. And then Kentucky does win, but it is in overtime against Mississippi State. Mississippi State has Molinar drop 30 for him in a loss, so maybe that's a guy to watch out for. If you have a dominant score as a lower seed in these tournaments, those are upsets.
The scary ones.
Those are the upsets every time. Providence gets Xavier in a ranked Big East matchup by 3 on the road, so that's a huge win. Iowa State bounces back from their trouncing from TCU. They beat Oklahoma State by 3 in overtime. No upsets on Wednesday, really, though, to talk about. Am I missing one?
VCU beating Davidson.
VCU beats Davidson by 2.
It's an unranked versus ranked.
It is an unranked versus ranked, so I'll give you that. But looks like Davidson shot the ball pretty well, so kind of interesting to see how they lost this game at home. Oh, game winner. That'll do it.
Okay.
So there it is. And that brings us to today, where Wisconsin's beating Nebraska. Gonzaga plays tonight. They're favored by 30. But Stanford, who was below 500, is now 11-6. They get USC tonight in the rematch. So that might actually be one to tune into tonight.
Purdue, Iowa should be really good too.
Yeah, because Iowa's got a kid that gets straight buckets.
Mm-hmm.
Keegan Murray. Yeah, Keegan Murray's averaging 23. And Jaden Ivey is a top 5 pick probably coming up in this year's draft. So that is a good one. That's a great matchup.
That'll be a fun one tonight.
Absolutely. Especially with Iowa at home. Purdue's only favored by 2.5 coming off their tough loss against Indiana and then having to bounce back a little bit. So good, interesting matchups tonight. Definitely a great week of college basketball. I love the big 3-7 matchups, stuff like that.
It's great. It's great seeing these upsets. It's fun to watch. It makes everything more balanced once the dust settles for the tourney.
That's what makes the tourney so hard to pick. I mean,
if it was that easy, we'd have a perfect one by now.
Exactly. So that's going to do it. Quick episode, get in, get out. About 25 minutes or so.
Yeah.
For Instagram, we post every time an episode drops at Hurdle Podcast, HRDL Podcast. If you want to listen to just the audio version, make your way over to Spotify, type in Hurdle Sports, go to podcasts. It's great for driving to work, walking to your class at school, stuff like that.
Studying in the morning.
Yeah, studying in the morning. Just give it a tune in. Yeah, we'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching the video. I think that's really it. We got a bunch of content coming out recently that we have planned.
Let's put it this way. We've pre-recorded a lot.
Yes, we have pre-recorded a lot. So we'll get that out to you guys. It might be 7 episodes in 7 days, but we really appreciate the support. We have 2 videos that over 100 views. So
that's insane.
Thank you so much. Absolutely an honor. So thank you guys. Bailey, Logan, we're out. Peace.